2022, the buy-in of $10,000 for the World Series of Poker main event has not changed, but the prize money for first place has grown tremendously. Welcome to the 2014 World Series of Poker main event featuring a $10 million top prize. Ace nine of hearts at risk. And that's a but the set for Jacobson. Martin Jacobson has his breakthrough when he has climbed the mountain and is Poker's 2014 World Champion.
Dr. Jeremy Weiss here. I'm founder of InspiredInsider.com, where I talk with inspirational entrepreneurs and leaders like the founders of P90X, Baby Einstein, Atari, now Roy Krebs, and many more, how they overcome big challenges in life and business. This is part of the e-commerce mastery series where top sellers and experts teach you what really works to boost your e-commerce business. Our sponsor today is Acuity Scheduling. They help automate client bookings, cancellations, and reminders. I use it to book my guests at Inspired Insider because it saves me hours of back and forth emails, coordinating schedules every week with busy people like Roy. And it's one of the top 3 tools I use to save me tons of time. Today, I'm excited. We have Roy Krebs. He's co-founder of Natural Stacks with Ben Hebert, and that is the proper pronunciation. Natural Stacks creates open source dietary supplements for optimal performance. One of their flagship products, Siltep, is a neurotropic used by athletes, rocket scientists, and Silicon Valley execs. They founded Natural Stacks in 2013 and generated 7 figures in their first year alone. And we have a lot to learn from Roy and the team. Roy, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Jeremy. Happy to be here.
What's been the low point? Because I know it's not been always, it's obviously been an upward trajectory, but there's been low points too.
There have been low points. I try to get them out of my brain as soon as possible.
That's why you go to the float tanks, I know.
Yes, yeah. That's why I do the float tanks. But I think in general, I'm a pretty positive guy. And we as a company haven't dwelled on any low points really that have defined us in any certain way. Mm-hmm. I think the hiring thing, I told you we went to a kind of a spot where we just let everyone go and started basically from scratch. I think we kept one person. That would be kind of considered a low point. Yeah. And I think not really a low point because Ben and I were still very positive in what we were doing, but it was kind of like,
it's tough.
Okay, it's tough. We need a lot of help. I'm not sure if we're going to find the right people to help. It's building a team is hard. We should have fired this person long ago. What were we thinking? Da 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 da. So it gets you kind of introspecting on what am I doing here, and am I really building the best team that I can? And I think coming out of that was a really positive moment for us because we were able to make a couple of great hires right away. And these people were promising and already more productive than the last few people. And so that was turning a low into a high pretty quickly. And it gave us more control over, okay, let's really focus on the positions that we need and start to be a little more organized on what's the role of that position opposed to just a soldier, like I said, do everything. We can really define the roles a little better. And as we rehire, we're really focusing more on the roles rather than you're a soldier and you're going to do everything. So that was a struggle.
It's empowering, though.
It was a struggle. We've also had tough times with manufacturers. We've switched manufacturers a couple times, and it's just finding the right fit. And if there's multiple delays, it could really hurt us, and it has. From a supply chain operations perspective, it's really just the manufacturing, and lead times on certain ingredients can be very frustrating, especially because we're using some specialty things.
Right. This is day-to-day low points, I understand.
Day-to-day low points. Yeah, I have plenty of those. But like I said, we're positive and things are going up, so we're happy.
So proudest moments. What's been the proudest moment? One of them.
I think the proudest moment was really the first month. We were profitable. The entire business was profitable within a couple weeks. And that was something we weren't expecting. We knew we had something special, but we didn't know really how powerful it was.
Yeah.
So I think going through that experience was really the high point for us. Is just that, wow, this is something that could be big, and just a mindset shift of first we're like hustling to get something on the market and just see if it works, and then not only did it work, but it had just this overwhelming response of we're helping these people and they're reading these crazy testimonials of
Yeah. What's been your favorite testimonial that you've gotten?
they're all over the place. We had a guy who was saying that he couldn't really read anymore. And he was a retired guy and he couldn't really focus and sit down and read a book. And with CILTEP, the guy's like flying through books.
Wow.
And sends us this kind of casual email. It's like, wow, it's like it changed this person's life. And we've had people who are severely like ADHD and have had great help with our supplements,
Mm-hmm.
and have been able to taper off some pharmaceuticals. It's always cool to hear a story like that. But then we get I've been communicating pretty regularly with this Harvard professor who's one of our customers, and it's just cool to have these conversations with customers who are using your product to do cool stuff.
Right.
And not only do cool stuff, but they're asking very next level questions, and it gets you as a business owner thinking about, okay, how do I really satisfy this person who's our core customer? We have a customer at SpaceX, and just 2 months ago they invited the whole team out there. We went and toured SpaceX.
Wow.
and there's a small group of employees there that rave about our products, and
Wow.
it's
That's
cool
amazing.
to go into that setting, and it's that I guess in a different way has been the biggest win for us, is being able to witness what our products are doing for people. Our prebiotic, which is a resistant starch, I was at a conference last month and a guy comes up to me and said that it was several years ago, I traveled to some foreign country and got some parasite gut disease and has been in horrible health for years. And then he found our product and basically switched 180 degrees within a month.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like these.
That's why you do what you do. Yeah.
Yeah, these amazing stories that you don't really realize your products are going to have that effect, and you're putting the best research and ingredients into the product, but until you get the testimonials, until you get the back end, then it really becomes a real thing.
Yeah.
It makes it all really that much better. So
Yeah.
I think is the biggest win is seeing our products in the world and getting this feedback.
Yeah. Roy, this has been fantastic. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Thank you.
Great.
That was fun. It was fun.
Well, I did a lot of research ahead of time, and I know that you do this like twice a month, right?
I try to, at least.
So there's there's a conference around floating. So tell me about this.
Yes, I'm a big fan. Once I started going, I became good friends with the owner of the float place close to my house, and he started selling our supplements. And then I kind of realized that was a cool little niche for us. And all of a sudden, our supplements are sold in 10, 15 different float centers.
Well,
And so I said, okay, let me check out this float conference and really see if I can tap this.
so what's it like when you go?
And I just went by myself, and it was pretty interesting. There's some hardcore people in that space, and it's a growing industry, growing fast, which was cool to see. People kind of slowing down and figuring out, okay, what's the regulations? How do I make this a legit business? And I was just sitting outside, and Matt came up to me. I don't know if I think someone else was like, hey, that's Roy or from Natural Stacks. And he had been a customer for like ever since we launched.
Right.
And he has a blog. Is he the guy that does Fit 50s?
He's a photographer.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, okay.
But he also has a blog.
I don't know about that blog. Yeah.
It's embarrassing if I could find it. But anyways, I was sitting down. He sat down next to me and was just like, "Hey, man, I'm a huge fan of your product. Check this out, thefit50s.com."
Does he own this?
Yeah, pretty sure that's his blog. Thefit50s.com. Um, yeah. So one of his first blog posts, if you look back on this blog, is about our product Siltep.
What was he using it for?
Memory,
Memory.
concentration, just for working at home. And so I had actually seen this blog post before he came up to me, and I was like, oh, you're the guy from the Fit 50s. You're a great photographer. Because he had this close-up shot of the capsule, and I can tell he put some effort into this.
Right.
So we just talked for a while, and I said, hey, we need some help with our product photos.
Yeah.
Let's talk. So
That's awesome.
He's been doing all of our product photos ever since.
What do you find the benefits of the deprivation? Floating.
For me, it's like a reset. It's usually only an hour. If I can, I'll go for an hour and a half. But by the whole goal of the thing is just to kind of clear your thoughts. So any thought that comes in, it's like, how fast can you get it out, and can you get to this state where you're not thinking, and just being, and kind of let things come to your mind naturally. And the more you do it, the better you get. But just the feeling when you walk out of the float tank is just like you woke up from a 10-year sleep and you're just ready to dominate.
That sounds good. That should be the tagline of the float tank you go to.
There's really nothing else like it. And like I said, I do it when I can. I try to do it in the morning. So I'll try to kind of as early as I can, and I'll start my day like that. And it really just kind of slows you down and makes you think about what's important, and how do I get the most out of what I'm doing here. And it's a cool thing. I've become great friends with the owner of this place. They now have 2 locations here, so I kind of go back and forth between the locations, and we have this deal. We trade supplements for floats. So
that's perfect. Yeah,
it's great.
So is it like meditation on hyperdrive?
Yeah, for me, it's like an easy way to meditate.
Yeah.
Meditation's pretty hard, and especially when you have all these senses, touch, sound, taste, etc. When you get in there, there's no senses. It's completely dark. You can't hear anything. The water is supposed to be the same temperature as your skin, and it's so buoyant that you lose the touch of gravity. Yeah. And so when you have zero distractions, there's nothing except for you and your brain, you and your heartbeat. So it's amazing. It's kind of a really raw feeling.
Yeah.